Hello everyone. Trying something different with the lighting today. Hopefully it's not messing anything up. But we're going to be doing the stock market update. So I will remind you that you can go up in the top right corner right now and click on the eye icon to pull out the stock market fluctuation poll, and you can vote in next week's fluctuation. Now, I do want to give a disclaimer before we get into the actual stock market fluctuation that Thomas has actually decided to reinvest his stock slightly. I did verify that this is the correct amount of assets for Thomas. So that didn't change. He just changed 100 of his green stock into available blue stock, which equated to slightly more than 100 due to the fact that green currently has a larger value than blue. So he now has 67 available balance, and I guess I'll leave it up to him if he wants to do anything with that, because he could technically buy one red at the moment, but that's not too much of an improvement on any investment, so I'll leave it up to him. But yeah, if you guys are looking to reinvest at any point in time, just give me a chat or give me a shout, and I will make sure to make that happen. So we are going to update the stock market, and so you can keep in mind the current standings, with myself being having taken somewhat of a strong lead from last week. So we will go over to the stock market values page, and I will add in the current values of the stock market. So red received a 33% of the vote, yellow received a 0% of the vote, green received a 0% of the vote, blue received a 33% of the vote, and I bet you can guess where this is going. 12 received a 33% of the vote. So right off the bat, that is looking pretty good for me, and I know that's looking good for a lot of other people in the market, but we need to see what the random number is. So I'm going to try to make sure that you guys can see it this time, because I know that didn't work last time. But here is our market factor between 0 and 40, and I will go ahead and click enter, and that value is 21. So that's almost spot on average, which is, it's nice. It doesn't really change too much in terms of the total value of the market, but it does actually affect the market significantly due to the fact that there's a large difference in the values of the voting percentages. These voting percentages were 33 and 0, so yellow and green are taking a significant hit, dropping yellow to a very low value, which is something significant to keep in mind. Red has increased, and so has blue. What I'm thinking will probably happen is I will probably reinvest into my friend yellow here, because that seems like the right thing to do at the time. So we're going to hit new market. We're going to zero out the market factor, and we are going to copy these guys onto this page numerically so that we can see the current trends. So you can see that 12 is now, I believe, at an all-time high. It is the first stock to hit 200 this season, which, to be honest, I wasn't completely expecting. I was expecting it would do well because it's the new dog on the street, if that's the correct saying, but I wasn't expecting blue to be taking such a hit from the split in votes. But that is how it is playing out. So you can see the current values, but that's not what you're here for. You want to see how everybody's doing. So let's go over to the scoreboard. And I can see right off the bat that I have taken a significant change from the previous week. I'm trying to look, and it does look like there is some shuffling around here in the middle. So that is actually beautiful. We are exactly back to the original market value, the original total market value, that is, which is crazy. I wasn't expecting that to happen, but that's what that means when we have 100,000 here for even Stevens. So that'll be interesting when we get to the Contestants Trends page. But I'm going to sort these from largest to smallest. I did see that James moved up. I believe Carly moved down, and Mr. Positive stayed where he was. And that is about it Megan is still not doing too well, but she did take a slight gain this week due to her sole investment in blue. So, like I said, I do want to reinvest in yellow. I am taking a very large gain at the moment, and I think that it would be beneficial to continue that trend. Now, my question is whether I think I need to keep blue. Blue seems to be a pretty large contender, unless I just want to go all out. No, I think that would be a bad idea. So I think it would be a bad idea to hold on to red if I'm switching my interest to yellow, because what's been happening is that my support is kind of the reason that red is going up right now. So if I switch my support to yellow, red might go down, and because I have such a large hold in red, um, then it will cause some problems. I wonder, did Thomas's investments? Thomas's investments technically did pay off, I believe, but he does have still investments in yellow and green, and they went down more than his blue and red went up, but he has more investment in red and blue, so I don't know. That might have evened out. We'll have to see when we look at the contestants trends. But I'm gonna switch up my investments. So you know what? I think we're going aggressive this season. I'm gonna go take all of my red and put it all into yellow. I think that sounds like a good idea. So, um, because yellow is very cheap right now. It's actually 28, as you can see right there. And red is 78. So we have a value of 3,000. I can't see because I have my lighting on. Might be a problem. 3,208 divided by 70. Oh, sorry. No, that's going to be times 78, which by itself is 250,224. Now, I do have 14 in my bank, so I should consider some of that. Maybe, how is green down as well? No, I think that's not the best idea. Perhaps I could put more into blue. I could do that. So perhaps I could even out blue to 1,000 and then put the rest into yellow. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to add 14 to this value. So that is the current balance I have to work with. That is 250,238. Now, if I wanted to buy 300 blue, blue is now currently at a value of 88. So 300 times 88 is going to be 26,400 on the dot. So if I subtract that from here, I now have, oh, I did the wrong thing, times -1. I now have 223,838. So we are going to make this 0, make this 1,000, and we just need to see what we are buying with yellow. So if we take our current leftover assets and try to put as much of it as possible into yellow, then we will see. I actually have more than Megan just with that, but you know, who's counting? So I'm going to divide this value by 28, and that will give us, dear God, 79,090. Sorry, not 79,000, 7,994. So that is what we're going to put into yellow. It's weird because red was just about where yellow is right now. Yellow is actually lower than what red was, but it's weird that I'm doubling up on the amount after already putting some in the blue, but that's how it plays out. So we're going to put 7,994, and then I just need to figure out what my leftover balance is. So if I subtract 7,994 from that, and then multiply it by our 28, that gives us 6 left over in our bank. So that should put me back to where I was bookkeeping wise. And that is about where we are. So as you can see, I am heavily shifting my allegiance into yellow. And I'm expecting somewhat of a exponential return, assuming that all goes according to plan. Um, but let's see how that plays out. So the last thing to do is the contestants trends. So as per usual, I will be just kind of chatting. Um, I do want to make more another update to my game. I am kind of getting into the swing of things with school, which is kind of throwing me for a loop because that means that it's a little bit more difficult to find time for things. But at the moment, I'm just kind of trying to get an idea of what I want to add to the game. My kind of process is that I like to have some story along with something mechanical in the background, game mechanics. So um, if you guys have any ideas or things like concepts that you think would improve the game, feel free to let me know, and I'll make sure to consider them in my next update. I know I've talked about some things in the past that I've wanted to update in the game, so if there's anything that you've heard me talk about that you specifically want to see soon, then let me know, because I'm definitely I want feedback on these things so that I know that people are getting what they want with the game. Because I mean, it is kind of just a project I'm working on, but at the same time, I want it to be something that people enjoy. So, it definitely, if you have any ideas for the game, I am completely open to the discussion. Um, and yeah, so it's definitely gonna be interesting when we see this. I know the actual graph is probably gonna shift a lot to accommodate my new value, but um, we'll see how it goes. Looks like OC actually lost a little bit of money, but not enough to be too significant. Um, Alright. And then we have the ladies. So I'm going to get Megan. Might be backwards. Yeah, no, I got it right. Paste. And then Carly. Paste. And then we need James. Paste. And the last one, last but not least, Thomas. So we will actually get to see what Thomas's investments did. So looking just from the numbers, he did actually receive a small gain. Uh, but yeah, it's starting to look like that e to the x curve right there. I did have some moving around in the start, but so did the market. The market initially went down. So now that the market is back to where it was, and I've kind of gotten a hold on where I want to head, I'm taking advantage of my possibly broken system, but let's not focus on that. So it is interesting to see that it seems like people are starting to spread out a bit more. I think that may be due to the fact that there is some spastic changes in the market based off of the small values rapidly increasing to larger values. I think that's an important thing to happen just so the market doesn't crash. We don't lose a stock. I did actually think about um, what would happen if if one of the values were to plummet and to like zero or something. And I decided that I think that value, that stock would just be out, um, like bankrupt. But I don't know how that would necessarily play out. I don't want it to be something where it like gives me a significant advantage because that's not a good thing for for the sake of the competition. So um, I'll have to play around with that, but hopefully it doesn't happen. Hopefully we have enough support to where we can keep that in the positive. But yeah, you can see even Steven is right back where he started, and we have some interesting things. One being that I believe Thomas and Carly are. Is this Thomas? No, that's Thomas. So this would be Mr. Positive. Um, yes. So Mr. Positive and Carly are very, very close in value. If you see, this is Mr. Positive and this is Carly. So that is kind of a neck and neck race for that position of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th. But yeah, this is going to be pretty much it for the stock market update. If you do have any reinvestment requests, or as I've said in the past, if you do wish to get involved, we are in week, I believe this is 16, yes. So there is still some area to join in the stock market. As you can see from the spastic changes, there's definitely room for quick gains if you were to try to get into the thick of it. I don't know. I mean, I might be all talk, but I don't know if I'm going to be caught at this rate. But that is going to be it for now. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to go up in the top right corner and click the little eye icon to vote in next week's fluctuation. If we get some high vote counts, then it does actually make it a little bit more interesting because we're getting some more spread out votes. Usually, it's not always the case, but that is definitely something that I want to see. Also, I just want to throw out there before we sign off here, my 2 most viewed videos actually both simultaneously hit 3,000 views. Like, when I mean it simultaneously, the other day I checked it, one was at 3,004, one was at 3,003. So that's awesome. I'm happy to see that I have such a wide range of types of content, and I'm also getting some airtime for both of them. So I'm happy that those 2 videos are doing so well. I'm going to try and make sure that I'm aiming some more content towards those format types because people tend to enjoy them. I do want to do more of the SolidWorks speed arts, so if you do have any suggestions for cartoon objects that I can attempt to make in SolidWorks on stream, I'm open to that. And also, if there's any engineering topics that you want me to try and explain, it would definitely help my learning as a college student to attempt to project those concepts into a video form. So that is going to be it. I'm signing off. Thank you guys for watching, and goodbye.